let's take a look and see what's inside the Archer and Olive Spring 2026 subscription box. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Tracy, and yes, today we are going to be doing an unboxing video for the Archer and Olive quarterly subscription box. This is the box that came out in March, and the next subscription box will come out in June. So definitely be on the lookout for that. They do sneak peeks prior to the first when it comes out, but it's like a limited sneak peek of like 2 to 3 items. However, by the time new subscribers can sign up, which is the 5th of the month, so like June 5th, like I said, it's going to be the next subscription box. Usually the full spoilers will be out at that point. So because it is a subscription box, if you wanted this one, you sign up now, you get this one. You can cancel after that one, so that way you will not automatically be billed and sent the June box. And then if you like the June box, you can just resubscribe. Although some people love this and they want to keep it as a recurring subscription, you can do that as well. The advantage is it ships out on the 1st of that quarter versus the 5th or the 6th or whenever the new members ship out. So you do get it a little bit sooner. The box does go for $79, I think it's $79.95. But you do have to pay shipping as well as your taxes. So for me, it's usually about like $92. And it does not, you cannot combine shipping for this box with other items. So if you do add other items to your cart in addition to this box, there will be 2 separate shipping costs incurred. So I do want to mention that. I also want to mention that this box was sent to me as a gift from Archer and Olive. There were no strings attached. They specifically said that this was just a gift and I can just play with it. I don't have to share this with my audience or anything like that, but I thought it would be kind of fun to share it with you guys. And I do want to take the opportunity to thank them for sending this to me. And I also want to thank you guys because even though I'm an affiliate for them, I believe it's probably thanks to you that I'm actually on their radar because of all of you that have used my discount code and links in the past. They have taken notice. So thank you. Remember, all of that information is always down in the description box. Okay, so with all of that said, let's take a sneak peek. Now, this did have plastic, like clear plastic over top that I've already removed, and it came in a separate shipping box. Let's take a quick look at the box. I usually don't do this very often. You can see there's a quote there, but there, you have the Archer and Olive branding here. Got a little dinged up in the packing, and then the barcode and stuff. The reason why I want to show you that is because some people might be like me, and you're like, how can I reuse this box? This is going to be probably a pretty good gift box. So, like I said, you could just throw a sticker over the Archer and Olive and give it as a gift box. So we have 1, 2 notebooks. This is the information sheet. We have die cut stickers, acryligraphs. We have page rest, a book page rest, a notepad, folio, and washi. So those are the contents of everything in here. You see everything is packaged like super cute. Everything fits in the box perfectly. I'm going to take all of the wrapping off of anything that is wrapped. So that way that'll help us get through it a little bit quicker as well. All of the packaging has been removed, so I saved a little bit of time for the video. All right, so I'm going to move this aside. We will swatch stuff a little bit later. Let's take a look at some of the smaller things first. So this is the book page rest. So I did watch the video because I wasn't sure. This was a box that I was up in the air about purchasing. Oh, that just came out. I was definitely kind of like, ooh, there was a couple of things in here I really wanted. And I will say with subscription boxes, everything that's in here is exclusive to a subscription box unless they happen to bring it back as part of like a Black Friday bring back the favorites or something like that. So if there's something that is like, ooh, I have to have it, this may be the only chance that you can actually purchase it. So this is a book page rest. So it is for like when you're reading. Let's grab one of the softbound books that I have. you can just put it like here, so it keeps your book open, which it is. I can admit it's really weird. It looks weird, and it's something that I wouldn't probably use. I'm an e-reader. But if I'm being honest, it is kind of a little bit more comfortable. Let's see. Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable. It's not just a little bit. It's actually a lot more comfortable. So I didn't even know these were a thing, but it does. It like seems a little bit less like heavy just because of how this holds the book open. So I'm not trying to force it open. So who knows? Maybe, you know, just kind of mentioning this, you know, if you don't want to buy the subscription box, this might be something you want to look up elsewhere, because it's something that I never knew existed. Like I said, I don't really like to read a lot of physical books, but I do have a few. So we'll see. We'll see. Although you do, I guess, have to maneuver it when you get to the bottom of the book to see the text that's there. So that is kind of like the kind of unique non-stationary item. Okay, and then we have die cut stickers. I guess I'll have to use my little sharp blade that poked me earlier, and I had to go like run it under some water. I'm just a hot mess. I just got back from vacation, so I'm still in vacation mode. All right. So here are the die cut stickers. So you usually get stickers in these subscription boxes. They usually give you like a couple of sticker sheets or what have you. So it looks like this time we get just some die cuts. So you get 2 of each. So we get some really cool frames, some labels, some deco. I mean, all of it's deco. These are really cool. These are some cool die cuts. You can use them in your journals, your planners, or what have you. So there we go there. Keep that kind of showing. And then I guess we'll look at the accordion folio. I'm going to need to swatch the washi, so that's the reason why I keep pushing that aside. Anything that requires more of a flip through, we'll do all of those together. So we'll put this with all of those. Okay. I will say, like I said, I've seen unboxings, but I forget. So this looks like a little journal. So you can like tie it, or it will probably be like this on my shelf. I'm not good about tying things. But yeah, so you can put your stickers in here or what have you. So I don't know, for those of you that are new to my channel, I actually have a planner that I prep, or I write in there like what I plan to like decorate for the week, like which planners or journals I want to work on that week. And I could actually put stickers in here for the entire week, like what set I was going to use and things like that. So that could be helpful. Or you can do what I'm doing here and throwing the die cuts in there. So this is actually pretty cool. I will use that. All right. And then this is an A6 notepad. I have never actually purchased any of their notepads. All of the notepads that I've gotten from Archer and Olive were in subscription boxes, or like the one-off boxes they have, or advent calendars or something like that. But I love them. And this one is really cool. So again, it's an A6, so it is a smaller size. These are refillable, and I don't think this video is going to go up before their, I guess, quote unquote, newest release, but they are adding some more things to the everyday collection, which includes these notebook refills. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the size or not, but it's really cool. Like I don't use this as a notebook. I use this as like decorative papers to put in my journals. So you get the green. I like that green a lot. Then you get like this bubblegum pink, you get gray, and you get blue. So there we go. Really nice color palette. All right. So now we will look at the washi and the pens. I'm going to get my swatch book out, which at one point I was great with the swatch book. I would always refer to it. I just don't refer to it as much anymore, but I'm going to keep swatching. All right. So obviously this is like a theater theme. So that is kind of what we're getting here. So we have the thicker washi, and then have this one. I'm gonna swatch them, don't worry. And then we have the tickets. These are really cool washis. I really like these. I feel like, you know, I can use them in like various designs for various things. Even though they do have like a they fit the theater aesthetic. I honestly feel like most of these you can kind of use for whatever. All right, so I'm going to swatch them so we can kind of just see what they look like laid out. All right, guys, and there is the swatching done. You can kind of see, I just like to swatch it because sometimes things are a little bit darker on the rolls than they are when you roll them out. But this, I found that the Archer and Olive, because of the thickness of the washi itself, it usually is like what it looks like on the roll is what it looks like swatched out. But you can kind of see everything here. Everything is pretty much a repeating pattern. That's why I had this one swatched longer. I'm like, hold up. Nope, I don't want to swatch as much. So I rolled it back, but there we go. So you can see all of that. All right. And now we have some Acryigraphs. So the Acryigraphs are the paint markers. So these are the ones that you can actually color stickers. And it will stay on there. It colors over things. So, you know, like if there's a black line or something like this, this will color over it. And we also have the colors here. So it's red carpet. I'm going to go ahead and put the carpet. I'm going to go ahead and put the colors on here. All right. So it's red carpet, glimmer, pink ballet, smoke blue, and midnight marquee. So these are glitter as well. So I'm really intrigued by this. I will say, like I said, you know, the paint markers, they do have their advantage as far as like the coverage of everything. But I don't really use them, if I'm being honest. I have a bunch, but I just do not use them very often. We will put them here. Like I have a space for them. So with Acryigraphs, you have to shake them to get the paint rolling, and it's a process. Because I haven't used them very often, I can't say like, I know you're supposed to clean them so they don't get like the tips don't like block any of the paint coming off or dry up on it, because it could kind of ruin the tip of it. So like I said, I'm not an expert on Acryigraphs, so I can't really speak to like the longevity of it or the care for them. Maybe I'll start, you know, upping my game and using them and can kind of let you know. All right. So I think I have to shake one at a time. So I do want to break in really quick and just say, so when you shake it, but then you just sit here and you just like do like this to get the paint running, and you can kind of see it coming. It doesn't take that long. But then you just kind of, the tip retracts and you just kind of keep doing that. All right, guys, so there we go. So these are, if you saw when I was trying to show you how to get the ink up, these are a little bit of a different tip. So it's not a brush tip like some of the other Acryigraphs. So coloring in would be a little bit more difficult. So this to me is more for like writing and things of that nature versus the coloring. So yes, I kind of want to go ahead and get that disclaimer, because I said that Acryigraphs are good for coloring in things like coloring in stickers and stuff. But you can see those colors are really, really pretty. I will say these three are my favorite. I'm usually drawn to blue, but you can see that shimmer in there as well. All right, so there we go there. The other thing, let's, all right, and there it is on the blue paper. Obviously, the darker the color, the harder it still is to see it because it is dark on dark. But you can see the lighter ones were great on here. So yeah, these will be perfect on some of your darker papers and things like that. Obviously, it looked fine on white paper too, but that's the advantage to using Acryigraph. Sometimes you can write on darker paper. Okay, so all of that's now done. So now we're going to get to the fun stuff, and that is the journals. Given the price of Archer and Olive journals, these two journals, I mean, would be $70, if not a little bit more, because, you know, one of them is very, very unique. So that is almost the price of the entire box. Just kind of putting things in perspective. If it's a journal that you like. Obviously, if it's one that you don't, then not so much. All right, so here is the first of the two journals. So this has more of a cloth cover. It might be buckram, I think is what they call it. But this is the A5 Starlet Dot Grid notebook. It is 128 pages, and it still has your 160 GSM. So here we go. This washi was a nod to this journal cover. And the 128 page, people are a fan of the thinner books. It's a little bit less intimidating to like see one that has a little bit less pages. Plus, realistically, I don't know if you're like me. I rarely fill up an entire journal. I'm ready to move on after a certain point. So it works there for, works there as well. And then you have the striped pattern and of course your dot grid. You have your pink ribbon bookmark with the ampersand, and then like everything else, you have your pocket and then your pen loop. So usually in the subscription box, you do have the boxes that open from the top and not the ones that slide out. That I don't really care. Unfortunately, I had to start getting rid of some of my boxes, so I wasn't able to keep them all anyway. But yeah, so that is one difference as well with the sub box journals. Usually they are the ones that you lift up, which sometimes people prefer. I apologize for any weird jumps in the video. My phone rang, which stopped the video. All right, so now we're going to look at the unique journal. This is the one that you probably have seen sneak peeks of because it's really, really cool. But it's also a little interesting as far as how will you use it. So this is an A5 as well. And this is the one that you open from the front in the middle. So this is, let me make sure the specs are right. Obviously it's an A5, but this one is 192 pages. And this is the curtain call dot grid. So even though this one is one of the ones that you're like, how do I use it? Oh my gosh, just looking at it, you're like, I have to have it. I mean, that was kind of my thought. I was like, I have to have this. So you can see the side, you have the little like circus top here, or the tent, the top of the tent. You have that also on this side. The back is just plain. This is some more of a material cover. It's a smooth material, but you can kind of see the glitter and stuff, which I love the vegan leather and I love like the full cover design of them. But the vegan leather does wear, especially on the seams and stuff, a little bit easier than some of the material. But yeah, you can just see how stunning everything is. I hope the light is picking up the sparkle. So this right here just reminds me of Dear Diary. It like takes me back to my preteen years when, I had all the little diaries with the little like latches like this and the locks. Never used them, but I had plenty of them. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So again, it opens from the center. So you have the decorative page here. This feels actually a little bit thinner than I actually anticipated. But there is no name page, so this will serve as your name page. So in all honesty, I would probably just tape those two together. But you can see a part of the problem, which we'll get to in a moment, as far as the small size of the side of the cover. So you do have your typical dot grid, but it is sharp kind of corners. I was like, wait a minute, words, Tracy, words. Instead of the rounded corners, which I don't really have a preference for it. It will make, decorating easier, but that's something that you might not be able to do in here. So again, we'll talk about that in a minute. And then here is your ribbon bookmarks with your ampersand. And I'm not sure if this comes with a pocket or not. It does. It comes with a pocket. Actually surprised about that. Would think this one might not have it just because of the restrictiveness of this. So let's talk about like why like when I first saw this, I'm like, I have to have it, but then I started second guessing everything. And it's a few reasons. One, I am a decorative journaler. If you've seen my channel, and my journals get really, really thick. So here is one where I've done a lot of Dutch doors. This would not be able to handle that. It just wouldn't be able to shut. So it would have to stay open. And I feel like you would want this shut, right? So obviously I wouldn't be able to, definitely not be able to do Dutch doors because then all of your stickers are in one spot. But I don't think I'll be able to use really very many stickers, if at all. And when I say very many stickers, I mean, there would have to be a lot of stickerless spreads if I were to use stickers. So that is obviously probably my biggest concern. The other one is with this small cover here, if you want to write on the back side of the journal, you need to put something under the paper so you can write on it. And it needs to fit. This is where it gets difficult. It would need to fit between this and this because you can't put it in front of this because then you'll be like trying to write on this like latch thing too. And it needs to be thin. So I have this, which is a glass cutting mat. And you can just, I guess, do that. And that would work. Now, Now, once we get halfway through the book, it's not as much of a problem anymore. Yeah, you still have to do it because of the latch. Because of the latch and the unevenness. So you'll still have to probably use something for it. So that's also something that can be problematic, you know, because you're sitting there thinking, okay, don't want to use a lot of stickers. So that means that this could be like a dear diary, which, like I said, with the latch is what makes me think of it. But then if you don't want to like always have to sit at your desk to write in your journal, if you want this to be on your nightstand or wherever you like to just kind of write thoughts, then that will make it a little problematic. With that said, maybe you just don't use the back sides. Maybe you just use the front sides. I mean, it is 192 pages. So whatever that is divided by 2, that would be how many pages you would still have, which would be plenty. So almost 100 pages. So if you did not use the back side. So that is obviously one of the things. So I was kind of going back and forth. I've, you know, express my difficulty doing Dear Diary journaling. Plus I have a lot of cheap journals I could do that with as well, because I wouldn't need like the high quality paper for that. So I personally don't want to do that. The one thing when I saw this, I was thinking, oh, maybe I can use this as my the words are slipping my mind today. But basically, I was going to say affirmations, but it's not my affirmations. It's basically, I want to have a place where like my hopes and dreams, my aspirations, that wasn't the word either, will go in here. Plus like future travel destinations. And I wanted to do it junk journaling style because I have like a lot of travel magazines. At the beginning of the year, I talked about it because I wanted to use my, I think it's a 5x5. The double-sided sun and moon journal that came in a Art Your Knowledge subscription box. That's the one that I'm planning on using, but I'm like, I could switch to this. But I'm like, ooh, even though I'm thinking about like magazines and like doing junk journal with magazines, while that might not thicken it as much as like a matte sticker, I think it's still going to thicken it enough that could still be problematic. So I think I'm going to keep that idea for the other journal. So again, still thinking. I'm like, okay, I want to decorate. I don't have a journal that is strictly dedicated to just playing with stamps and inks and stuff like that. When I say inks, it's stamp ink. I haven't gotten into fountain pens yet, but it could be markers, anything that, you know, doesn't add bulk to the page. I don't have anything for that. So I'm like, okay. All right, we're going somewhere. So I think that's what I'm going to do, but I still wanted to have another purpose. I could just play in it and that would be the purpose. But I'm like, let's just give it another purpose so that way I do a little bit more than play with it. And another idea for a journal that I had, and I was actually going to use one of my traveler's notebooks, was due for creative listing. And that is just where you, I got into it probably 2 to 3 years ago now for like an Instagram thing every summer where it's like your 10 me list where there's just random quotes or random prompts for like your top 10 or your top whatever. That's usually like summer related, like your top sweet treats or something like that. It's just a way to get creative. So I've been doing that, but I have been doing it in an 8.5 by 11. So I was going to downsize to a traveler's notebook, but I'm like, now I can just use this. I can do 1-page spreads. I can do 2-page spreads. And again, limited, like just using stamps and things like that would kind of also push my creativity a little bit. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So what we're going to do to kind of have a little fun with this unboxing is I am going to do this. Okay. It's just that paper was really, really thin. Plus, you know, the first page is still as awkward as ever, even though you don't have the same cover. All right, so we have that. Now, I did not get any of my stamps out. I thought this was supposed to be good glue. I feel like this is like my 3rd time using that one. And I feel like my other glue has been better than this Oohoo stick. I was like, I've been trying to like try different types of glue just to see if, you know, something works better. I don't know. Maybe it's just not fast drying. and I need to give it a little bit longer. I don't know. Okay. That will hold it. All right, so I feel like I need to do a cover page here. I don't really want to call it a creative listings journal. So I think I'm going to just do like a fun name page here. So let's start creating this fancy name page or title page, whatever we're gonna call it is what it's gonna be. So what I decided to do is use the washi as kind of like the base and I guess the star of the show as well, because I absolutely love this washi and it matches the inside cover so well that I'm like, I have to use it. So at first I was just going to put it along the top and then figure out something else to do at the bottom. But then I'm like, you know what? I think this washi would be really, really pretty as a frame around the entire page. So what I did was just frame the page. Now for the washi that I put along the sides, because of the pattern, it didn't like look right when it overlapped the other washi that was already on the page. So what I did is I just cut the layer that I put on top at an angle. So it looked more like a photo frame, but it also helps it kind of blend a little bit more together. Like, no, the patterns don't match up perfectly or anything like that, which it wasn't going to happen having them going in multiple directions anyway, but it just helps blend a little bit better together. Now I am pulling out my ephemera stickers, which I was pleasantly surprised that these stickers were washi stickers. I had no clue. And the fact that they're washi stickers means they're really thin. They're a lot thinner than your matte paper stickers. I actually think they're thinner than washi, which means you have to be very careful because they do rip easy. But they're definitely not going to add a lot of bulk. So these are definitely stickers that I could actually add on some of my other spreads if I wanted to, without having to worry too much. So I wanted a quote. I wanted to create a quote on my journaling page. I thought it was really, really, I thought it would be really cool to kind of have something here. And I'm like, let me look at the quote that's on the box and let's see if any of that can be pulled into this title page. And the very last part of the quote says, so take a deep breath, let your creativity take the stage and make this moment spectacular. So I just started the quote with let your creativity take the stage and then added the last line and make this moment spectacular. So I added it on that little label sticker, one, because I felt like it'll kind of make the quote, stand out a little bit more because of the border of the sticker. But two, if I messed up, then I had another one. Versus if I wrote it on the page, then I'll have to figure out how to cover it up. So that's why I did that. So I just went ahead and hand wrote it. I was thinking for probably 20 seconds. Should I stamp it? I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to take up so much room. And knowing me, I'm going to mess it up. So I'll just handwrite it. And then I'm just going to be adding my name with these stickers that I pulled from either Happy Planner or Recollections. Basically, I pulled all the alphabet stickers from those sticker books and put them all together. So yeah, I guess this is a name page / title page. It's a hybrid page. Yeah, so basically now you're just going to see me add stickers to try to cover up some of the white space. You will see in a little bit, there was this one square box sticker that had a diamond pattern on it, a gold and white diamond pattern. I would have no idea what I was going to do with that sticker. And then I remembered that I had this punch that I got from Temu that stamps out, that punches into a stamp shape. So I'm like, let me actually do that multiple times to basically use this sticker, and then I can use those little stamp pieces as the decorative element. And I'm so glad I remember that because like I said, I don't think I would have used this sticker for any other purpose. It's probably one I would forget about. So I'm really glad that I remembered that because it turned out really, really cute. All right, guys, there we go. Loved how this turned out. It's kind of ironic that I did this really elaborate name page in a journal that did not have a name page because in my journals that have a name page, I would say it's like a 50-50 chance that I'll actually decorate them or even add my name. but this one didn't have one, and I felt the need to create it. Go figure. But this turned out really, really cute. Now, this is probably going to be one of the only times that I'll be using the washi and the stickers, even though they're washi stickers, so a little bit thinner in this particular journal, because like I said, I am kind of concerned with the possibility of bulking it up and it not being able to actually close. So this is probably going to be it for the stickers. From here on out, it's going to primarily be stamps, and I might use some like calligraphs or my brush pens or whatever like that to maybe add some color as well. But yeah, love how this looked. I pretty much used a lot of the ephemera. This came from a Happy Planner sticker book, I think. But yeah, I found, I pulled this out and I'm like, what can I do with this? And I was going to like kind of do like this and cut it. And then I remembered my Temu stamp cutter. I guess that's what you call it. Stamp cutter, stamp shape cutter. And it worked perfectly because I was able to spread this now throughout the page. Now, if you don't have one, you can just cut shapes and stuff like that to put it everywhere. But it definitely helped, fill in some of the blank areas. I do want to cut this. I might have already cut this off and it just didn't. Yeah. I don't want any of the stickers going over the washi. All right. All right. And what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do 1 to 2 pages of like an index, because this is going to be a list book, which when I talk about list, it's going to be like, I think the top 2 lists I'm thinking about right now that I'm going to probably start with is like my 10 like most memorable live shows that I've seen, whether it be like plays or concerts, which mostly are concerts or something like that. Maybe my top 10 favorite movies. I'm not going to be doing it all like theater themed, but I figured that'd be a cute place to start. I did a project in one of my creative journals for the month of March, which is me A to Z, but you can do a whole bunch of lists that like tell your story too, like your 10 favorite foods, your 10 whatever, 5, you don't have to do 10, 5, 4, 3, whatever. But like that would be very interesting too. Like there's just endless possibilities. Plus there are probably a lot of hashtags that you can like look and find other list ideas over on Instagram and stuff like that. So this could be a really fun thing to do. I will be popping in and probably sharing some of these with you as well. I don't know how much I will do as like a plan with me or a create with me, because I'll have to see how exciting that would be. Means I'm not going to be decorating it as much, but we'll see. I do notice that there is a little bit of ghosting, and this one is almost on the verge of bleed through. So, I did use the Acryigraphs. These are stars where it looks like, I probably went over one little area a little bit more than the other. And those are the areas that gave problems, because there's a star here and there's nothing here. There's no like ghosting or anything there. This one, there's a little bit. So it definitely seemed to be probably where I spent more time coloring things in, because I did have to go back and color it in. So just remember, if you're coloring something or you're staying on one spot, even though this is 160 GSM, you still may have some ghosting or even bleed through with the Acryigraphs, because remember, these are different than your calligraph. So they are a different material. I don't know if they're alcohol based or what. They're paint pens. They are water based. They're water based acrylic, non-toxic. But because they are like your paint pens, then they do kind of have a little bit more coverage than your other ones, and therefore you do have some bleed through. So just something to be aware of. But there we go. This is probably the extent of the washi and stickers that I'll be using in this journal, because I want to be sure that I am able to close it. All right, guys, there we go. So I hope you enjoyed the unboxing, maybe the journal setup, maybe kind of listening to me like throw out some ideas for this journal, because this is a really cute journal. It's just one of those things where it's like, what do I use it for? This would probably also make a good swatch book if that's something that you like keep or want to use it for as well, to like swatch colors of paints and markers. Again, you could probably do some washi. I don't know that it would add but so much thickness, but just be aware that you want to make sure it doesn't get too full, so that way you can shut it. So there we go. I will have all of the information on this box down in the description box. I'll probably also pin it to the first comment, as well as my discount code and affiliate link. So check down there for more information. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the video, press that like button. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing. That's all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.